Hello, everybody. I hope you're all set because it's time to take it to the mic stand. As we have some. Okay, so I have some interesting stories. We have like four stories to go through tonight. Some stuff I found today as I was doing my research for tonight's show. We got some Comicsgate news. Um, we got some DC. A particular Batman and Justice League writer is taking a step back from DC Comics. We're going to look into that. Also, um, there's a manga release happening as well as some anime news regarding a manga called Superheroes, spelled Hexeros, and also some let's just say some dissatisfaction in the voice acting community in regards to Transformers War on Cybertron. So, without no further ado, let's get started here. Let's take a look. So the first story we're going to look at here is former X-Men artist Art Ebert comes under siege from Patton Oswalt, Fabian Nicieza, Dan Panosian, and others. So let's take a look at that story here. And I was reading this earlier. This was an interesting story I was picking up on earlier. So let's look at some of the highlights here. Former X-Men artist Art Thibert, who is currently running an Indiegogo campaign for Chrono Mechanics um, retrofit, was the subject of criticism for appearing on a live stream with Cyberfrog creator Ethan Van Sciver and YouTube personality Cecil. Thiebert's appearance on the live stream was clipped by Dungeons and Dragons artist Tess Fowler, who took to Twitter to write, "Here is Ethan Van Sciver and some of his Comic Gates friends discussing my having cancer being an act of God I deserve." She specifically called out Thiebert, writing, "Art Thiebert is here too, laughing away. This is Comicsgate. EVS can lie and put on a happy face on his hate movement all he wants, but this is who they are." Yeah, well, I remember seeing some stories in the past in which Tess Fowler has kind of gone after people. I know that Umbrella Guy's covered it. Yellow Flash has covered it. Kind of funny. She goes after people and now expects people to feel sorry for her because she has cancer. That's kind of ridiculous. Um, Kind of ridiculous to just think that way. You know, I know, from what I understand, because obviously I haven't heard too much about it. And there's some other stuff that came up in this story later that I, as I can see why some people kind of have an issue with her. So in the clip, Van Sciver states, "So Tess Fowler has cancer now, and Tess Fowler is unable to work." Tess Fowler tweets out that she thinks this is it. "She's never had the ability to work taken from her before. Me neither, Tess. Uh, Fornicate you." Um, he then states What am I supposed what am I supposed to feel sorry for you? I guess that was supposed to be why am I supposed to feel sorry for you, but fornicate you. This is the thing. I don't wish cancer on anybody, but you did nothing but spend your time in this wonderful but frivolous business trying to hurt people, including me. Is that right, Cecil? Am I right to say that? Give me a moment here. I got to take care of something. Okay. Cecil then asked, or then added, "Oh yeah, they want to destroy you. They want you to kill yourself and not be able to feed your family." Cecil then cracks an edgy cancer joke. I don't know what kind of cancer she has. I think I got her confused with Mags. I think she had ovarian. Van Sciver then adds, it is sad, boo hoo hoo. Now, mind you, a lot of this stuff's been going back and forth between these people for years, you know. So I know for a lot of you, it's probably nothing really that new. Oh, hey, hey, anonymity. Hello. Um, see what you have to say here. Just got home. Evening. I'm going to eat real quick. I'll be listening in. Okay, well, I'll just give you kind of a. I'll thank you for coming in, anonymity. Let me just give you kind of a quick little highlights of what I'll be doing tonight. Um, as I was doing some research today, I found like 4 stories to cover. So we're going to be going through them pretty fast. Right now, I'm looking at a story. It's a Comicsgate story in which former X-Men artist, and all these stories are from Bounding into Comics, by the way. That's the source I'm using tonight. Um, I was just reading. I don't know if you how much you heard me already. I've been reading the article, but it's basically Art Thieber, who's a former X-Men artist. Um, Hail Comics Gate. Yeah. Um, but Art Thieber, I guess, is coming under attack for taking part in a live stream with Ethan Van Sciver and Cecil. Of course, leading the charge right now is Tess Fowler. So I'm kind of reading through the article. Um, so just sit tight and listen, and I'll catch your comments as we go along. Um, so where was it? Oh yeah. Cecil interjects. Ethan's got fornicating powers. Don't you know this? Fornicate. You fornicate with him, and bad things are going to happen. Van Sciver replied, "That is God. This is a weird thing. God will strike you down. It is not within my control. It's just something that tends to happen." Cecil. Cecil responds, "I've seen it." Um, just in case you were wondering, anonymity, what that was all about, one of the things Tess Fowler was accusing them of is basically saying that she basically deserved to get cancer, that God had given her cancer. Um, that's basically where that was going. Let's see. Art is a good guy, and Tess, um, imagine that. Ha ha ha. She's just trashy. Um, again, I don't know. I remember seeing some of the stories from Tug on her. In fact, Tug actually has a quote in this article, and I'll get to that a bit there. But yeah, I've heard as I read this article earlier today. I saw how it was. I saw how it was. Let's just say she's not the peach she probably wants everybody to believe she is. So let's continue on here with this. Um, Siebert then states, "I need to hear this story. You've seen it. You've seen it. This miracle." Cecil answers, "Well, I just see anybody who goes against him within a short time. They are begging on the internet for fornicating money, and they are destitute. There's fornicating illnesses. He's like the plagues of Egypt in living form." Following up on the video, Fowler would then go into a lengthy Twitter thread. Um, from all the coverage I've seen on when they do go after like Ethan and they go after Cecil and they go after people involved in Gate, that part, yeah, I've seen that from like of course Tug's reporting, from Yellow Flash's reporting on those things. That is true. That and thank you for liking the stream, by the way. Anonymity. I just noticed that. Yeah. Oh, there's a good guy. Um, Please imagine. Yeah. So, in response to, of course, the video, Tess, of course, went on a bit of a rampage on Twitter. Isn't that like a lot of SJWs? They go on these little rants. Well, here it goes. She starts by accusing Van Sciver, Cecil Thibbert, and company of targeting her. Their, according to her, so this is her quote: "Their only goal from day one has been to harm people, no matter how they try to spin it to recruit new folks. This is who they are. Today, they shared a photo of me on live stream while discussing me. They've done it a million times before. The goal is to target, be aware." Let, let me ask people something. Okay, if you feel like they're targeting you, then why give them the attention? You know, as I was reading the story earlier, it struck me how a lot of these people, when I was reading the story earlier and I was reading through it and reading through some of the comments they were making, I was like, if you don't want this attention, why are you seeking it? If you don't want any of this, why do you respond? Let's see, anonymity. Let's see what you had to say here. I think I remember that stream. They Cecil isn't being dead serious or anything. Yeah, from the sounds of it, from what I could read in the quote, it may sound like they were joking, but and they talk a bit about that in the story too here. If Twitter got shut down, SJWs would start would starve to death. Okay. Um, Tess and her kind always play constant. Yes, something, that's exactly what I was seeing in this article. Was it just sounds like they're playing the perpetual victim. You were right there, anonymity. So I'll continue on with some more pearls from this, oh, lovely peach. Fowler then wrote, "EVS and Comicsgate have spread disinformation and outright lies about so many people in comics and their cronies just eat up the conspiracy theories. They are arcist, exist, T-phobes. They're istin-phobes, and it never ends. This is why they are. This is what they represent. Let's move on a bit here. She then claims that Van Sciver and Comments Gate are serial abusers. There are those who have gotten 10 times the abuse from them that I have. If this is how they treat me, think about what their other targets have been through. Oh, what about Tug getting his mailbox destroyed there, you little, little peachy there, and are still going through. I'm asking you to block them and their ilk. Zero tolerance for their supporters. Yay, 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 yay. Um, I don't know, I don't know. Well, I'm not gonna go there because I don't have a romantic. I don't have a girlfriend myself, so I really have no. But you have to wonder: does this lady really have any friends? It seems like she's got a few bats in the belfry, as it were. Fowler then adds that Van Sciver targeted an unnamed woman. EVS was just telling lies, or EVS was just telling lies about one of their main targets yesterday. Not a spin, lies. Dangerous lies that repainted a target on her back. It's unacceptable. They they pretend we are evil boogeymen out to get them, and all any of us wanted was to be left alone. Well, little Peachy, look, if you wanted to be left alone, why do you keep responding to these people? Why do you keep responding to these people if all you really want is to be left alone? Why respond to them? Why give why give them that attention unless maybe you're an attention whore? Anonymity. Think about that. You think that Tess Fowler's an attention whore? Anyways, I'll read what you wrote here. What about them thinking it's funny to threaten Tug with CPS? Calling CPS on a happy family should have severe consequences. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. And remember what I said a few minutes ago, anonymity, about them like destroying his mailbox as well. You know. So I mean, yeah, but it's just, and I'll get it in. Let's move on. Wow, for I intended to try to spend 15 to 20 minutes on each story. I'm almost at the 20-minute mark here, but I'll probably have to just make the others short. But the others will be pretty short. This will probably be the thing that takes up majority of the time because this was a pretty lengthy article. The others are a bit shorter, so probably go through those a bit quicker. The thread continued. EVS is currently trying to pretend that his verified account on a doxing website is hard. Okay, to kind of quicken this a little bit, because she had a pretty lengthy thread here. Um, ha ha ha, my bad. Yeah. She had a pretty lengthy thread here. So rather than go through every single thing here, I'm gonna skip down to let's see. Won't read. Let's see. She then wrote, but here he okay. Um, yeah, in some of the follow up, She accused him of being dangerous. She accused him of being a harasser. Let's see. Um, Character assassination. Just constantly playing the victim here. No. She then calls on her followers to protect others. She wrote, "Please, please, please help protect others. I repeat, I am fine. They've tried everything to break me over the years. I'm still kicking." Yeah, kicking and screaming like a brat. But if something happens to one of their other targets, I'm going to lose it. This is me asking for your vigilance, for your awareness. Finally, she concluded, take care of each other out there, sending you all my love. Thank you for your support here. It is very much appreciated. Please extend that to the targets. Don't let this evil stand. Oh, how hyperbolic she is. Uh, Fowler has previously targeted fellow comic book artists. Most recently, she targeted Sean Gordon Murphy and Doug TenNapel. Of course, she described TenNapel as a bigot and accused Murphy of hiring bigots. Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, I think both Tug and Yellow Flash um, covered her attacks on Murphy. Let's see, attacking people while being a victim. Ha ha ha. Yeah, and it's kind of funny. She goes after people, and then when misfortune befalls her, she expects people to just stop calling her out on her baloney and plays the victim card and all that. So here's basically a thread of her going after, I guess, um, going after Murphy. I guess today in comics, apparently, known Batman writer who supports bigots in a hate movement as well as supports that hate movement, apologist, um, has a new imprint at DC and is hiring bigots. Laugh out loud. I told y'all in Fornicating 2017, dude was a problem. But oh, he makes Batman comics. She is quite hyperbolic. Excuse me a moment while I turn on my light and take care of something real quick. Okay, I'm back now. Let's see. Anything there? No, I guess not. Not yet. Anybody? Nope. Just still the two of us. Okay. So, anyways, back to the article here then. In 2017, Fowler was also accused. This was one of the things that I found interesting is in light of her attacks on Van Sciver and Cecil and. But here's an interesting thing that they mentioned here. In 2017, Fowler was also accused by Doc Wild author Tim Bird of stealing from him. Bird wrote in a blog post, "I've posted a good bit previously about how she took money from me to do art for one of my books and then did not deliver, instead opting to gaslight me and claim that I was a misogynistic stalker who made her afraid to open her door. Isn't that just lovely? The guy gives her a chance to work, and then when he does, and then when she doesn't deliver on that work, she then starts to scream misogyny and calling him a stalker, and you know, she really sounds like she's full of herself, doesn't it? Like people, like she thinks people want to deal with that kind of crazy. Isn't that just lovely? Isn't that just lovely? Trash, uh-huh. Um, something spoiled. I don't know what that is. Let me see if I have a oh geese spoiled. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. She's oh okay. She's spoiled. Yeah. I sometimes when I've typed pretty fast, I do that too. Sometimes you know you'll be trying to hit one key, but you'll hit the one next to it instead. So anyways, back to the article here. Bird also reported on a change.org petition that accused Fowler of stealing from a man named Stuart Chapin, who had reportedly had stage 4 col- um, colorectal cancer. Um, and this is going to be interesting with her recent diagnosis of breast cancer and how she's accusing Van Sciver and them of wishing cancer on her, because that's going to be an interesting topic here in this article as well. Anyways, a screenshot of the petition on Bird's blog claims Tess Fowler Gutierrez, a sometime Los Angeles comic book artist, turns out to be a world class con artist, and her artistic license should be revoked. She offered commissioned artwork to a dying man, accepted gifts and money, made him wait for over a year. He has stage 4 colorectal cancer, and ultimately reneged on everything she promised, spurning him nastily without cause and delivering nothing but grief. she she talks about Comicsgate being evil, and then she does that. She talks about Comicsgate being evil for just simply calling out her baloney, and she does that. Hypocrisy at its finest. Um, oh, yeah, I remember this. What a terrible person. I have no sorrow. Yeah, nobody probably, or nobody in Comicsgate, or I think nobody with any real common sense probably does their anonymity. I mean, what she basically did there was just that was evil. Okay, she gave no quarter. She deserves no quarter. Okay, so following Fowler's lengthy thread, Deadpool creator Fabian Nicieza decided to have a go at Thibbert. He wrote, "Art Thibbert, come on, you have to be better than this." From what I understand, from what I read as I was reading the article here, I guess Nicieza and Thibbert were, I guess, are friends or were friends. I don't know if they're still friends after all this. See, here's a picture from I guess um. I mean, of course, I'm not going to play the clip. Let's see. Here's another guy who came in on it as well. DC Comics artist Pete Woods would jump into the conversation, saying, "My guess is that this is who he always was." Nicieza would continue, "I don't know him well enough to say. The times I have spent with him many, many years ago were always fun." Yeah, it's kind of funny because they say that about art, and yet he's probably thinking the same thing they are. I know I've seen that too. I've back like about you know 10 years ago or so, back about back in the late aughts, early tens, and I was still going to cons. I had actually met Monica Rial. Okay, I met her. You know, and she did seem real nice. But after getting to know her a little bit better, just from hanging around her and stuff, I realized, well, I came to realize who Monica really was in 2017. The way she basically treated a fan on her own, on her own Facebook fan page. A fan of hers, I guess it was at Anime North 2017 or just afterwards. One of her fans had acknowledged that he was tempted. He didn't actually do it, but he was tempted to kiss her. And everybody at the time, I think BT Underdog was part of this. Todd Mitchell was another, but they were all over this kid for just acknowledging an impulse. He didn't actually follow through the impulse. He just acknowledged that he had the impulse. They basically hounded him. A couple people defended him, but for the most part, they all just dogpiled on him. And she kind of went in there and said, "Oh, I'm, you know, my boy, she basically made a veiled threat to send. I guess Ron was with her at that time, so send Ron after him. So, but anyways, so let's but it's amazing now these people, on first impression they seem nice, and then you once you get to know them, you realize just how how crappy some of them can really be. Let's see now. Um, it's amazing how bad one side one side of the group is, isn't it? Yep, yep. It's kind of funny when you have it's amazing when you really something oftentimes they seem real nice at first, but then then you see what basically goes down and stuff. Um so anyways, continuing on with the article here, you know, Hibbert would defend himself, trying to back away from the bus that you just threw me under. Thanks, brother. You're a real sweet guy. Yeah, I think most people would have that kind of reaction. Nicieza replied, "Sorry, I really am, but I can't throw you under a bus that you're riding in." Oh boy. In a separate response to Nicieza, Gebert would write, "Thanks, friend, for attacking my character." And I hope I'm pronouncing these names right. Um, for attacking my character. I would never laugh at someone who has cancer. There's nothing funny about that. Just so you know, my wife is battling cancer. So, no fornicating joke here. Nisiza responded, "Hadn't seen this until now. Sorry for the late response. I'm sorry for your wife and family having to face the challenge. My family has been there and back as well. I know laughter and dark humor can be a form of therapy, but for me, that meant laughing with, not, well, no at, but I think he meant to say not at. And basically, for much of the article, for a lot of it's going back and forth, each side accusing the other of wishing cancer on people, and the and defending themselves, saying no, I wouldn't actually wish cancer on people. That the artist Dan Panosian would weigh into the thread started by Nisiza. He wrote, "There's low and there's this manure. Arguing about comics is one thing. Laughing and participating in mocking someone who is struggling with cancer is reprehensible." Now, that last part of that statement, I'm pretty sure everybody would agree with. And but in let's say Ethan and Cecil's defense, Tess Fowler brought it on herself. She attacks these people. She goes after them. She does the crappy things she does, and then expects people to stop calling her out on it, and feel sorry for her when she gets cancer. Oh yeah, and here's here's I think one of the best responses of this whole article. So Van Sciver would respond, questioning where Panosian was when Mike McCone wished phallic cancer on Comicsgate. Ha ha ha, where were you when this happened? Panosian responded, "I don't endorse wishing cancer on anyone. I also don't laugh at anyone's struggle with it. My father died of cancer, and my mother is dying of it." Let's see. Uh, like anonymity there. They're just trying to turn it into something it isn't, because they're CG. Yep, you're right there, anonymity. That's exactly what they're doing. It's a typical SJW Saul Alinsky type tactic. Scream, yell, vilify the other guy with as much with the worst possible things you could vilify people for. You know, that's the whole game plan there. Um, let's see, 7:38. So I've almost spent almost like double the time, but I said that this article was a bit on the lengthy side. So he would then defend himself against Fowler's accusation, stating, "I don't either, and it's a D lie that I was laughing at Tessa's cancer. She's been monstrous to me, and I don't wish good things for her. But I also don't wish her cancer." He added, "We've had cancer wished on us by people we both know, and nobody said a D thing. Hashtag Comicsgate." Again, it's like they get called out for their bad behavior. And then when bad things do happen to them, they expect people to feel sorry for them. Life doesn't work out that way. No. He then stated, "I am terribly sorry for your mother, Dan Panosian. and pray for her speedy recovery. Full remission. Have a nice weekend. So at least it shows you that Ethan can show some class there, huh? You know, and he clarified what he was trying to say there. Um, yeah. So as we continue on here, Thibbert would also respond to Panosian. It's clear you don't like CGers. Now I know you've been waiting for an opportunity to come at me based on who I hang out with. I have heard and seen you do worse things in my presence before, but I kept that to myself because you are a friend and friends don't hurt one another. He added, this is very hypocritical of you to believe you are better than me or anyone and play moral arbitrator. Um, you had to dig until you thought you found something that you could try to hurt me with. Well, you're wrong. I would not laugh about anyone having cancer. Now you can I think most of us can understand the anger there that Thibbert. I mean, he thought these people were his friends. He thought they were his friends. He thought that there were no issues with them, but he goes and hangs out with Ethan Van Sciver, Cecil, people associated with Comicsgate, and all of a sudden he's like the plague. These people really are a bunch of peaches, aren't they? Oh yeah, and here's everybody's favorite liberal Hollywood actor, Patton Oswalt. Um, Marvel's Agents of Shield actor Patton Oswalt would get in on the action, tweeting, "JFC, fornicating, the fornicate is wrong with people." Oh, now I understand what J. I didn't even know what that was meaning earlier. I think now I just figured it out. JFC, the fornicating is wrong with people. GD. Yeah, sticking up for Tess Fowler. Um, these people are really class acts here. Let's see now. Ha ha ha! He got her. Patton Oswalt is one of the lamest. Yeah, I've seen him go off on a lot of people. I've seen him go off on Trump. I've seen him go off on I think that on Tug. In fact, I'm about ready. As you probably see on the thing there, I'm about to read something that Tug responded to here. Ironically, as YouTuber That Umbrella Guy points out, Oswalt is no stranger to making jokes about cancer. Patton Oswalt, the guy who says others use cancer as a shield. Sound familiar from earlier in the article? Jokes about cancer. Uses cancer to attack political opponents. Yeah, I think I've seen it. Says some cancer victims are cowards. Hopes to cancel Ethan Van Sciver, Art Thibbert, and other Comicsgate folks because how dare they? Yeah, typical Tug with the how dare they, with the southern draw and all that. In response to Niciza's post, former Marvel editorial director of digital media Ben Morse would write, "This is disappointing." Daredevil season 1 writer Christos Gage would respond with a Godfather meme. You broke my heart. Others would also take shots at Vibert, Van Sciver, and come again. You see this in response to a clear case of white knighting here. Wouldn't you agree, anonymity? Wouldn't you agree? Ha 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 ha, hypocrite. Um, Tug is great. Yeah, I kind of wish he was he was he was streaming this today, so I could have talked to him. Yeah, I'm actually surprised he wouldn't have picked up on this to talk about. Definitely agree. Yeah, definitely some white knighting going on there, huh? Okay, excuse me a moment. Excuse me a moment. In a minute. Man, this article's taking longer to get through than I thought. I've spent quite a bit of time on this. I can probably do the others a bit more quickly because they are shorter, but this one really you have some just good stuff in here to like comment on and stuff like that. Let's see. Avengers Assemble producer Jeffrey Thorne wrote. Oh, and this is another precious comment that I really kind of just really loved. Avengers Assemble producer Jeffrey Thorne wrote, "They don't matter. I promise you, they literally do not matter. There are stacks of folks who love you as a person and respect you as an artist. These guys have always existed, and they always will. They've never met." Okay, okay, genius. Let me ask you this, and you, Jeffrey Thorne, let me ask you this, you ding dong. If they don't matter, why in the world are you responding to them? They don't matter. Why are you responding to them? Apparently, they do matter because you feel the need to respond to them, Mr. Thorne. oh, oh, yeah, definitely agree. Yeah, okay, I saw that. What do you think of that? Anonymity, what do you think of that? What do you think of that? This guy, Jeffrey Thorne, claims that they don't matter, yet he feels the need to respond to them. What do you think of that? Yells Walker. Wanders in. Hey, Gelf, how you doing, man? Glad to see you're here. And if you, I think of nothing except my good that's cooking. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Gelf, if you can, if you it'd be appreciated if you can like and share their stream to see if we can get some more people in here. Good food. Yep. Um. Yeah. Just to kind of give you a heads. Just to kind of recap real quick for you, Gelf. Right now, I'm going through. I basically going to try to get to like four news stories from bounding into comics here, albeit this one is taking a little bit longer than I thought it would. Let's see. I'm cooking jalapeno peppers. Okay. So just to kind of give you a quick little recap of what we've been talking about, been going through an article from Bounding into Comics where Tess Fowler apparently went at Tess Fowler and a few other anti-comics geek people went after Art Thibbert for appearing on a stream with Ethan Van Sciver, Cecil, and a few other comics geek individuals. We've been having a good old time of it, laughing at him and all that. Hey, are you guys still there? Because it looks like I'm losing people, apparently. Losing you guys or something. Okay, hold on. Let me swap to Discord to share the link. There you go. Shared and liked. Okay. Thank you, Gil. Appreciate it. Okay, so I'm here. Yeah. Okay. So on YouTube, it shows me that there are 3 people viewing, but on the StreamYard, it's oh, okay. Now we're back up to 3 people. Okay. Thank you, anonymity. Thank you guys for liking and sharing as well. Hopefully, yeah, as I said, hopefully we can get some more people here. I'm here. Yeah. Um. So yeah. So that's basically what I've been talking about. Gelth is basically some in this story some comic skate stuff. Um. Just a lot of white knighting and a lot of some hypocrisy, some interesting tidbits that came from this. Apparently, Tess Fowler was contracted to do some artwork for somebody, and then didn't deliver, and accusing the one guy. See, it was Tim Bird that happened back in 2017. Then she did the same thing to another guy who was basically had stage 4 colorectal cancer as well. So let's see. So continuing on with the article here, then Magic the Gathering artist Tyler Walpole wrote, "That's disgusting." Yeah, well, I think a lot of us think you people are disgusting, but Avengers Infinity War, the Cosmic Quest author Brandon T. Snyder stated, "These men are the scum of." Yeah, right. And then here's, of course, Mark Lombardi, who used to promote Shadowline Comics that published books through Image Comics, wrote, "JC, they're the worst. I'm so sorry. You like they're just totally. You can just tell these people are just white knighting. White knighting for Tess Fowler. Oh, and of course, Shannon. Here's everybody's favorite bald-headed Ruby voice actor. Who practically nobody knows, Shannon McCormick, who thinks he's more than he is. Let's see what this dude has to say. Ruby voice actor Shannon McCormick also added, "Tess, I'm so sorry you're going through this. These people suck." Oh, oh God. Anyways, Hibbert's Indiegogo campaign for Chrono Mechanics retrofit has currently raised $48,266 from 663 backers. It is currently still funding through In Demand. What do you make of Thibbert's original comments? What about Fowler's accusations? Okay, yeah, and that's basically the end of this article. At the end of this, at the end of that article, that I covered there. Yeah, okay. Oh, it looks like let's see. Yeah, I'm here. So, okay, throws food at anonymity. Gelthy, you're a wild one, aren't you? To be to be honest, the Comicsgate and anti-Comicsgate stuff now uh, bores the uh, manure out of me. Yeah, well, I still, granted, I haven't been following it, but since nobody else was, but this is a pretty lengthy article. Ha ha ha! I'm eating. Um, Anonymity. What are you eating? I made those stuffed burgers, Juicy Lucy's, or something. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I ended up. Oh wow, like 55 minutes. I ended up taking longer on the story, but there was just so much to go through in that article. But that's just the first of four stories that I planned on covering tonight. Others should go a little bit quicker. Some of them are a bit more happier stuff. So here's the second story I'm gonna go on to, and this is in regards to Batman and Justice League Scribes another word for writer. Scott Snyder announces he plans on being less involved at DC Comics. So just to kind of summarize, I'm not going to read through the. I'll read maybe the first couple of paragraphs here. Scott Snyder announced after 10 years he wanted to shift his focus away from superheroes and concentrate on his stuff beyond Dark Knight's death metal. The writer told Games Radar he hasn't tired of capes, but needs a break to finish some projects. He wishes to step aside for others to have a shot at the big stuff. So I read this article earlier. I'm not going to read it again because look at how long it took me just to read the one article there. But basically, in summation here, Scott Snyder is deciding to kind of take a step back from his work on like just on a lot of the superhero stuff to focus more on his own work as well as to give maybe I guess some newer writers a chance to work on it. That's basically the gist of what the article was talking about, and I applaud him for that. It's always good to see, always good to see when people who are more established will give younger guys a chance to try their hand. What do you guys think of that? Um, what do you guys think of that? Somebody who's pretty well known, is pretty well established, deciding to like take a step back so they can focus on their work, and then to and focus on their work and give others a chance to to thrive. What do you guys think of that? Say, let's. While I'm waiting for your responses, let's see what you guys have said since I last highlighted them. So, looks like the COVID stuff just got upped again, where we're we're closing the borders in. Oh, so is Australia closing its borders again? Gelf, is that what you're saying? Um, I don't know much about Discord. Oh, I apparently I skipped past something there. Um, NWA-PNW sounds really great. You should join Tug's Discord and share pics. Let's see. I don't know much about. Okay, so that's why he said. And I always like seeing new stuff from actual creative minds. Yeah, well, that's good. You know, it's good for the newer artists to be given a chance. You just hope they don't turn out to be like people like Tess Fowler and all that crowd, right? That's the only thing right there. Yep, Queensland closed its borders again. Queensland, isn't that like the biggest province in Australia? Isn't that like one of the bigger provinces or more one of the more um urban provinces in Australia? Because I know there are portions of Australia like where Ayers Rock is the outback and stuff like that, where it's just all one big desert. But Queensland, though, isn't that where like Sydney and all that is? Okay. I guess while I'm waiting for a response there. Okay. Tess Fowl Tess Fowler is a wet. Oh yeah, yeah. She probably hits people with wet diapers anonymity. She probably sits there with wet diapers, just splash all kinds of junk on people. A lot of gross stuff, I would imagine. Anyway, so there are also a couple of stories in the anime section that I wanted to take a quick peek at too for you guys as well. Here's an interesting story in like in the anime manga world. Seven Seas Entertainment announces release date for superheroes manga series. So here we go. Seven Seas Entertainment recently announced the acquisition of Ryoma Kitada's superhero spelled Hxeros, and you'll learn why in a moment. Manga series and announced when readers can get their hands on it. Superheroes was recently adapted in an anime and tells the story of heroes that are powered by their arousal. Yeah, you can probably see the actual word there, but I'll change it to a more appropriate term for that. Let's see. Yeah, and I've moved on to some anime stuff because it's like anime manga stuff, just simply because just to ha 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 ha. Let's see. Western Australia is the biggest. No, Sydney is in New South Wales. Um, QLD. Oh, Queensland is like the second biggest. Okay. 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 Thanks for the clarification there, Gelf. Anyway, so I'll continue. I'll try to read through this article a bit quicker because this one's pretty interesting as well. The story follows high schooler Redo Enjo, who is recruited by the government to combat a race of mantis-like aliens called Kiseshu that have one goal: to eradicate the human race. These aliens do so by absorbing humans' H energy, which is the which is basically aroused passion that fuels so many people and keeps the species reproducing. In order to combat the aliens, the government developed technology that allows a select group of individuals to transfer their erotic energy into superpowers. Um, Retro Enjo is one member recruited onto the team. He is joined by his former childhood friend, Kirara Hoshino, and three other beautiful girls. However, Hoshino has become distant and aloof since an encounter with the Kiseishu when she was younger. The other three women are Momoka Momozono, Shora Tenkuji, and Mahime Shirayuki. Now, before I continue on there, give me a sec, guys. I gotta do something. Okay, so I'm back here now. Let's see. Let's first check real quick to see if you guys have been saying much of anything. Sounds as bad as a superhero power by cocaine. Sorry, Mike. Had to do it. Sorry, Mike. Had to do it. Your American education is sadly lacking. Yeah, well, for me, I should have looked that up a bit more. It's actually been a long time since I actually looked at a map of. I should have known better, but actually, back when I was in school, education was a lot better. I just kind of got lazy there. So that's on me. Ha ha ha! What erotic powers anonymity should be worse, or anonymity could be worse. It could be like Shane Holmberg getting superpowers from. Oh God! Yeah, that is funny there, Kel. Yeah, that would be rich. That would really be rich. Let's see. Ha ha ha! I forgot about old Shane. Well, Shane's insignificant is insignificant. Okay, he's insignificant. I don't think I've heard anything about Shane in a while, and it's probably a good thing. So anyways, back to the article here. Then, there are some interesting things about this coming up in here in a moment. And Joe will have to figure out how to melt his childhood friends' icy exterior, keep his team together, and fight off the Kisetsu. The manga originally began serialization in Japan in Shueisha's Jump Square magazine in April 2017. The series has been collected in 10 tankobon volumes as of July 2020. In October 2019, there were over 900,000 copies of the manga in print. Um, in July 2020, the series was adapted into an anime series by Project Number 9. Basically, a month ago, they debuted it. It was written and directed by Masato Jinbo, with Akitomo Yamamoto designing the characters. Now, mind you, based on what I've read in the article here, I have a feeling the anime is going to probably be very popular. And when I read some more of this, you're gonna see some similarities with something we talked about earlier this year. The anime series is licensed by Aniplex of America and Funimation. And Funimation streams a censored version of on their platform. So far, 5 episodes have been released. When I saw this, I immediately thought interspecies reviewers because watch. What's liable to happen is they're going to come out again and say, "Oh, this series doesn't fit with our company standards." Then they're going to just suppress it to where nobody else could get it. Doesn't that sound kind of familiar, guys? Ugh, censored. Funimation needs. to stopped or to be stopped, I guess. Um, yeah, but the only way you're going to stop Funimation, or the only way you have any chance of stopping him, is by supporting the other dub companies, Gal. You know, support like some of the other dub companies, like Viz, like Bang Zoom, like Ocean Studios, like Sentai. Competition. Good healthy competition will start putting a dent. And that doesn't just go for supporting the companies, as a whole, but that also goes in terms of also supporting the voice actors of those companies and getting them invited to conventions. So yeah. So yeah. Superheroes. Now I believe it's pronounced heroes because oftentimes the Japanese will use the letter or character X almost like a punctuation mark. So, but maybe in this case, X is also to kind of like X-rated kind of thing too. But anyway, superheroes will hit bookshelves for the first time in North America in print and digital platforms in single volume editions, beginning with volume one on February 2021. It will cost $13.99 in the United States and $17.99 in Canada. Are you planning on picking up superheroes when it arrives in February? So, well, guys, would you consider picking up? I myself, I don't really read mangas, but if you guys do, would you consider picking up that manga? See, Mike Walters. The only thing good about it is paying thousands for the right to these. If they do what they did to interspecies, they will lose money. Well, yeah, they'll lose money. Yeah, they'll lose money, and but also, again, and this is speculated back when everybody was talking about interspecies reviewers too, in which sometimes it seems like they just buy up the licenses to just keep other people, especially with. And I have a feeling that particular anime would be pretty popular because of the consider as long as it's uncensored, of course. The uncensored version, I'm pretty sure, would be very popular because of the potential fan service in it, kind of the interplay between the superhero aspects and the fan service. I'm feeling would be considered pretty popular. Hopefully, they lose enough to go out of business or something. Well, the only way to do that is to stop buying from them. That's the only way you can guarantee that. But then again, since Sony bought into Funimation, it's not like they're going to be going anywhere anytime soon, unfortunately. And let's see, with the amount of people now against them, it will take time, but not will happen. Not will. Um, I'm not a huge manga reader. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, as I said, I think if somebody other than Funimation had gotten the rights to it, just like with interspecies reviewers had dubbed and recorded an uncensored version, even if they didn't broadcast it on TV, if they sold it through their DVDs or what have you, or streaming services, I'm pretty sure the series would be pretty popular. That's my 2 cents on it. Just that's just from me, from what I've observed of human behavior. So let's see. So that's the end of that article. So one more article I wanted to hit upon here, one that I kind of found interesting. This kind of part anime, part cartoon kind of thing. So this is a story I saw. This is actually the one I kind of looked into just before I started setting up the stream here. Optimus Primal voice actor Gary Chalk. Now, Gary Chalk was the one who voiced like Optimus Primal in the Beast Wars Transformers series. criticizes voice acting performances in Netflix Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy. Okay, so let's go through this. And yeah, it looks like I have been quickening it up now, so that's good. So um so here we go. And there's the title again, of course. Gary Chalk, the veteran voice actor who provided the voice of Optimus Primal in Beast Wars, was less than enthusiastic about the vocal performance given in Netflix's new Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy. Now, for those of you who don't know, Gary Chalk is a Canadian based voice actor from around the Vancouver area, Ocean Studios. Again, probably his most, of course, Optimus Primal from the Beast Wars saga and Beast Machines, all that would probably be his probably most well known work. He also was Harvey. I think he was also the voice for Harvey Birdman and the Harvey Birdman Attorney at Law. So, just give you guys a couple of examples there. And we'll see later in the article here, he wasn't the only former Optimus voice actor to have criticized this. According to Facebook posts screenshotted by Transformers news outlet Cybertron.com, Chalk first reacted to the show, writing, "Okay, I watched the first episode of the new Transformers on Netflix. Okay, let's see." He then stated, "Everyone tries to sound like a tough guy, and as a result, they all have the same pace and delivery. Visually, it's pretty good, but I am sorry the voices were kind of low energy," he added. And wait till you guys find out who was doing this particular series. Chalk, who also provided the voice of Optimus Prime in the Unicron trilogy, which consists of Transformers Armada, Transformers Energon, and Transformers Cybertron. Sure, you guys may have remembered seeing that on like Cartoon Network back in the early 2000s. Is not the only notable Optimus voice actor to have taken issue with the new Rooster Teeth. That's right, Rooster Teeth, the company that gave us Ruby, the company that gives us everybody's favorite bald-headed voice actor, Shannon McCormick. Rooster Teeth produced series. During a panel at the 2020 GalaxyCon Richmond, well, actually, before I even read that, let me see how you guys are reacting here. Because I'm reading the article here, so let me see if there's anything here. Anonymity chimed in with something. Let's see what you chimed in with. It's just amazing what they get away with after playing that moral high ground. I think I've seen it. Yeah, I'm sure you guys might have grown up watching Beast Wars and the the Unicorn trilogy there. Rooster Teeth, ha ha ha. Are they still floundering for support? Yeah, and and with some of the criticism they're getting here, that's probably not really helping either. Because, as I said, okay, so moving on in this article here, during a panel at the 2020 GalaxyCon Richmond, prior to the mass of event shutdowns due to COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic, original and iconic Optimus Prime voice actor Peter Cullen, who provided the character's voice in the original television series. That series was a series I grew up on. That was back in the 80s, with Cullen providing the voice of not only Optimus Prime in there, but also Ironhide, playing opposite, of course, of legendary voice actor Frank Welker, who voiced Megatron, Soundwave, and many others in the series. And in Michael Bay's cinematic universe, um, explained that he was being replaced due to Netflix's decision to use non-union voice actors in a move which Cullen believes is destroying the unions from outside. In an emotional moment, Cullen also shared his opinion um, that somebody else doing Optimus Prime that hurts. Cullen is an icon, bar none, for his work. I mean, he was a big, Optimus Prime was probably his biggest role, but he was around quite a few things. And I know, as I said, he did Ironhide also in the Transformers series. I think he provided the voice of Felix Faust in an episode of um, Super Friends Galactic Guardians. Um, excuse me, one more moment. I'm back. Um, in Netflix's Transformers War for Cybertron, Optimus Prime is voiced by Jake Fauci, who I've never even heard of before. Fauci previously voiced Optimus Prime in Transformers Cyberverse and in Transformers Rescue Bots Academy. Megatron is voiced by Jason Marnocha. Now, I have heard of this guy. Um, he previously voiced Megatron in Transformers Power of the Primes. He also voiced Optimus Prime in Iron Man versus Optimus Prime episode of Superpower Beatdown, whatever that is. His other voice acting credits include Batman and Lex Luthor in Young Justice, as well as Coach Nanbu Megalobox. I remember hearing him in Megalobox. Anyways, excuse me again, guys. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Um, the voice acting for War for Cybertron also includes Lindsay Rosea as Elita One, Frank Todaro as Starscream, Keith Silverstein as Jetfire. Keith Silverstein, of course, provided the voice of Kimimaro in Naruto. Edward Bosco as Soundwave, Bill Rogers as Wheeljack. Bill Rogers was one of the guys on some of the later seasons would voice Brock in Pokemon. Todd Habercorn as Red Alert and Shockwave. Um, I'm sure many of you know Todd. Mark Whitten, the actor Mark Whitten. There's actually a baseball player named Mark Whitten as well, but the actor Mark Whitten as Sideswipe. Georgia Reed as Chromia. Joe Ziha as Bumblebee. Sean Hawkins as Mirage. Brock Chalmers as Impactor. Jimmy Stafford as Hound. Raphael Goldstein as Ratchet. Basically, a bunch of people that you guys may not know or even care for. The Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy is now available to stream on Netflix. Right. Anyways, so that's all of the main stories that let's see. Actually, I still made pretty good time with it too. That first story took longer than I thought, but I remember the really old Transformers. If you're meaning the ones from back in the '80s, the ones that I grew up on, yeah, Peter Cullen was the one who voiced Optimus Prime there. But But anyway, so now with that, so what did you guys think of all the? What did you guys think of those stories? Some interesting stuff. I mean, I know at this point everybody's probably bored or tired of the whole Commonsgate stuff, but you know, I still thought that was an interesting story about going after him. Only one I care about is Havercorn. Yeah, from the list of voice actors that I read off there. Yeah, always make always make good time. Again, I always try, anyways. Remember yesterday we ran. Yesterday I ran kind of long. Um, with that, well, now of course that we're done with this, anyways, I can go ahead and done with that part, anyways. Um, yeah. So let's see. So we're coming up on the 1.5 hour mark, so that's pretty good. So we still got time for one more segment. Um, the last segment, of course. The last segment, of course, for the night is this day in Nietzsche history, in which I look back on some stuff from from the past. Today being August 4th. Let's look back on this date in Nietzsche history, guys. Let me just kind of check the order I'm going to do this in real quick. Okay, so we're good to go there then. Okay, so now the first. Okay, so okay, looks like there were a couple more things that I guess kind of came in there. Take a look real quick here. Oh, wait, okay, so yeah, okay. Um, that goat's going to miss the history. Yeah, I kind of wish he was here tonight. Yeah, he's gonna miss this. But then, I keep the streams up so he can always go back and check everything out if he'd like. Um, but it's always good to go through these, live. Um, so first off, on this date, 70 years ago today, in 1950, United Features released the 95th issue of Sparkler Comics. It was a bi-monthly humor comic. Um, so yes, on this date in 70 years ago, Sparkler Comics released, or I'm sorry, the 95th issue of Sparkler Comics was released. Let's see. Anonymity Bat Goat can't go. Oh wait, Bat Goat can go make love to a deceased rattlesnake for missing it. Okay, that's poor Bat Goat. Yeah. So so okay, so after that, let's see what else can we share. Um, what else is there? Oh yeah, here's some pro wrestling stuff. Um, here's some pro wrestling stuff. So on this date in 1990, which was of course 30 years ago today, up in the NWA territory, Pacific Northwest, the grappler, the masked wrestler, the grappler, the masked Len Denton would win the NWA Pacific Northwest heavyweight title from Scotty the Body. Scotty the Body was one of the earlier names for Raven. His real name is Scott Levy, but the guy everybody knows as Raven from ECW fame and hardcore, ECW, later WWF, WCW fame. Scotty the Body, he would win the Pacific Northwest heavyweight title from Scotty the Body. Um, if he was here, I'd still say it to him, laugh out loud. Didn't know that. Yeah, it's kind of funny because this is one of the things I realized when I was a kid, when I started watching wrestling way back when, anonymity. Um, a lot of people tend to think that a lot of these guys are like in or at least back then, it's like you think these guys just poof just showed up out of nowhere, became professional wrestlers in the WWF. A lot of them, that's not really the case. They actually um, they worked their way through what they called territories back then. Um, prior to the 1983, there's a lot more regionalism involved. Um, let's see, Mike Walters, Nick Rekieta is streaming in third. Yes, I realize that, Gelf. That's why I'm trying to get I'm still making good times. I know. I'm fully aware of that. I hope to be done by then. Ran a little long yesterday, but so anyways, so now let's move on to the next thing then. Wait, no, not that. This first. So on this date in 2012, the live action film version of the Japanese novel Another was released on this date. On this date in 2012, which was like 8 years ago, the live action film version of the Japanese novel Another was released. Another was also, of course, had an anime adaptation as well as a manga adaptation. Had an OVA, so it was pretty much covered. Let's see. I grew up watching the Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and Shawn Michaels, Jake the Snake Roberts, and those guys. Wrestling was as fake then as it is now. Only difference is production. Well, okay. To be fair, Geld, it's not fake. It's choreographed. Guys are not really going in there trying to hurt each other. It's basically it's an athletic exhibition. Okay, to say that it's like, are they really going in there trying to hurt each other? No, it's choreographed, but it's not fake. If it was fake, nobody would get hurt. You wouldn't have accidents. I mean, look at how. I mean, think about it. You think that when the guys take some of the bumps they do, right? When they take some of those bumps, you really think that's fake? You think when somebody takes a flying leap of like 15, 20 feet and the impact they put on their body, you think that that's fake? Think the damage they do is fake? It's choreographed, yes. It's an athletic exhibition. Okay, that's a way to look at it. And I remember when Hulk Hogan and crew came to Australia for a comp back in the late '80s. Same difference to me, Lava. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people like to call it fake because it's just simpler to do so, but it's not really fake. It's choreographed. or as the um, A&E documentary put it, it's unreal. Okay, it's scripted, but if it was fake, nobody would be getting hurt, and people get hurt quite a bit. I don't know if you remember Triple H ripping his quad. You know, I don't think that was fake. You know, tell that to the guy that died from falling from the roof after the cable snapped. Hmm. Oh yeah, you're talking about Owen Hart, aren't you? Yeah, yeah. That was again. I don't think that was planned either. I met a few of the WWE guys recently. The ring doesn't have springboards, by the way. Yeah, that's another misconception that they're bouncing around on a big trampoline, but that's not the case. I've been to some live wrestling events as well, and I've been to some indie shows, but um, but anyways, so anyways, back to what I was talking about. So the live action 8 years ago on this date, 8 years ago, the live action film version of Japanese novel Another was released on this date 8 years ago. Um, so, and now with it's the same as anything action happen at yes, and that's what they call it. They call it a work, but they for the most part, professional wrestling is a work. But sometimes it does evolve into a shoot. There are some times when it is a legitimate shoot, and there are other times when it evolves into a shoot when tempers get hot. The incident between Perry Saturn and enhancement talent a few years ago on Sunday Night Heat, um, where Saturn got agitated and went off on the guy. That was a bit of a shoot. Anyways, anyways, getting to the last of it here. One last piece of history here. Talk about which came out in 2015. So 5 years ago today, on this date, 5 years ago today in 2015, Looney Tunes Rabbit's Run, an animated direct-to-video spin-off film of the Looney Tunes show, was released on this date in 2015, 5 years ago today. Looney Tunes Rabbit's Run, the animated direct-to-video spin-off film, was released on this date in 2015. So, with that being said, guys, let's see. Let's see. It's the same as anything action happened at work. Yeah, I already. Okay. Like that Darwin Award winner lawyer who kept showing newbies at the glass of his office tower was safe to throw himself against till it broke and sent him, hurtling to his death like like 20 20 stories. Okay. Yeah, you were commenting on America's education system. when it comes to grammar, I think grammar and spelling, I think Australia could use some work too, there, my friend. uh, Below. And also at Guelph, Hulk was a huge name. Yeah, and Hulk Hogan, like many, like quite a few, had transitioned from professional wrestling into acting. Roddy Piper, Jesse Ventura, more recently, of course, The Rock, John Cena, and then he agreed. It's a shame his legacy got tarnished over the years. Very true. Yeah. So, guys, so how did you guys like the stream tonight? I know Gelf, you kind of came in late, missed some of the earlier stories, but hopefully you'll be able to come on earlier in the stream, you know, tomorrow night or whenever you're able to come in next. But how did you guys like it tonight? Yeah. My grammar makes sense to me and other Aussies. I could probably use more punctuation, but yeah. Again, I only brought that up because you kind of took a shot at our education systems. I figured it's just fair to ingest fire right back at you. Always love the always love the information shows. Yeah, I always do my homework. I always try to provide good content to talk about. Try to cover some things that make as I said, I like niche news. For me, I'm more my probably biggest area of expertise is classic cartoons, but I love covering like anime, cartoons, comics, mangas. I may not read manga as much, but I understand that the manga is usually serves as source material for the animes. So it's good to kind of be up on that as well. And of course, pro wrestling. Now, Grant, now, and Gelth, I know you're obviously, I know you've kind of made clear your feelings on professional wrestling, but there are people in the niche community that do like professional wrestling. I'm one of them. There are a few others I know about there, and it doesn't matter. Just as long as we all, come in to have fun, learn what we can about our favorite niches, and we can be civil towards each other. We can even jest with each other once in a while, like that, like we've been doing. As long as we're respectful of each other and all that. So, anyways, let's see what you guys are. What else, you guys? Wasn't bad. I was asleep from I was asleep from work. Um, yeah. Okay. Let's see. We just need the channel to grow more so it gets more people in here. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying. Um, I'm trying. I provide content. You weren't here last night, so let me also mention this to you as well, Gel, because Ananti already knows this. I am still working on getting. So, as you notice, the main title of the show is the Mikestand. Okay, and then I have a subtitle for each day: Monday Machination, Tuesday Talks, etc. Friday night, the Friday night forum. My plan is to try to bring in like three other YouTubers to have kind of a panel discussion on stuff going on. The first few are going to kind of be get to know you streams since they'll be my first. I'm still working on getting people Still trying to get people I was hoping to get for this Friday. Right now, the only guests I have confirmed at this point are the Knuckleheads for the 21st stream. Still working on getting some other guests in here, but I hope to do so. If like particularly for this week, if I can't get guests in here, I'll open it up to you guys to join me. As we can talk back and forth. If you guys would like, you know, where we can have a panel. As long as if I don't have, if I for whatever reason can't get a guest, but I am working on getting some guests in here. So the only ones I have confirmed so far are the Knuckleheads, who I'll have in on the 21st. So I kind of had the first three shows there planned out for the panel shows. So that's the gist of it. I know you weren't here last night, Gelf, so that's why I was kind of just repeating myself. Um, all good, Mike. Made me laugh. All in due time. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna do this no matter what. I mean, you even noticed that in the video. I just went right into it tonight. I didn't even sit because I know normally I've seen like when I've been on Tug stream and I've been on some of the other guys' streams, and we'll be wrapping up here pretty quick. So, but when I've been on other guys' streams, they usually will give them like 10 to 15 minutes for people to start coming in and stuff. But for me, since I don't have anybody coming in before the stream starts, you know, if I sit there and wait for people to start coming in, it's like it's dead air. It's dead air, and I don't want to have dead air. That's why I'm hoping people will start if they can. That's probably the only ones who, and admit it, you're the one who's been here for both nights here. And I know you guys were on at least one of my, not on the same one, obviously, but guys were on my trial streams as well, and so was Batgoat. But if I can start getting some people to come in early as well, where we can just chit chat a bit, and that way, once 7 o'clock hits and I get going on the stories, we can get things going even sooner. As I said, the only reason I don't want to wait is because I don't want to have like what they call dead air. So, um, reach out to Rosetta Allen. She will join. Yeah. Well, maybe I will. Maybe I will try to check her out. You said Rosetta Allen has a YouTube channel, right, Gelf? Wait, Batgoat was on. No, Batgoat. Wait, Batgoat was never on. He never came onto the actual mic. Um, what I was saying there is, um, like, okay, one of the things I plan on doing, Gelf, on Fridays is having like a panel show where I'm going to invite other. He was just in chat. Um, yeah. Yeah, I invited him though, but he said he was too tired. But yeah, she does. I'll try to look her up and check out her stuff. I have enough trouble just keeping up with the people I already keep up with. Um, I think her Twitter is Rosem Queen one. Well, okay, I'm not on Twitter anymore, Gelf. I got off Twitter back in December. I valued my sanity more than Twitter, so I got off Twitter back in December there. But anyways, guys, okay, so let's see what you guys are saying now. We need Bat Goat to talk, so I can't make fun of his drawl. So I can't. Yeah. Thank you for the stream. Well, and thank you guys for coming in and joining me. I enjoy being able to like inform people and get good conversations going like we had tonight. So I'm going to end the broadcast. And it looks like I 1 hour and 50 minutes. So still keeping it between the 1.5 and 2 hour mark. So that's good. Yeah. And of course, Gelth is saying here, can't blame you for saving your sanity. All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and close out the stream here. Thank you, guys. One last bit of thing. As you guys know, I'm still, of course, promoting the other dub companies. I'm still promoting Vic's GoFundMe. So if you guys want, oh, we have a fourth person in here. Somebody just looks like somebody else just came in. Okay, time to jump to. Wow. Okay, who just came in? And unfortunately, I'm sorry you just came in. You're kind of late because we are just about to wrap up. I'm sorry you had to miss it, but I will have to keep the stream up. So yeah, so I guess they just left. Yeah, I'm sorry they left, but yeah. Anyways, so as always, guys, when it comes to like Vic's GoFundMe and Tugs Indiegogo, never feel like you have to donate. If it's on your heart to do so, and you have the means to, please consider donating. If you've already donated before, please consider donating again. And if you cannot donate, you can still help out the cause by sharing the link. Sharing is caring. So, anyways, guys, I'm closing this out. Thank you for dropping in, and I will hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye.